Dear friends, in this video I am going to discuss the status of freshwater prawn in India. These prawns are coming under the family Palaemonidae, so generally we call it Palaemonid prawns. In this family Palaemonidae, there are about 21 genera and there are about 300 species are reported. Among this, 80 species have fisheries importance and it also having some family Pontinae. It includes 72 genera and 416 species. For your information, the prawns are coming under the family Palaemonidae or commercial importance, whereas the prawns are coming under family Pontinae or generally ornamental importance, and it is usually smaller in size and it is associated with coral reefs and mostly marine. All the animal prawns are coming under family Pontinae or exclusively marine, no single species or freshwater. So this is only ornamental importance, whereas in family Palaemonidae, the animal coming under this family are commercially important. On family Pontinae, animals are ornamental importance. So this is the systematic position of this animal. Phylum Arthropoda, class Crustacea, subclass Malacostraca, order Decapoda, suborder Natantiae, infraorder Caridae, family Palaemonidae, subfamily Palaemonidae, genus Macrobrachium. Why it is called Macrobrachium? Because the ciliate legs are very large in size. Macrobrachium, macro refers to very larger in size. Brachium refers to legs. So macro is a larger and brachium refers to legs. So these animals are large legs bearing animal. So it is called Macrobrachium. Freshwater prawns of genus Macrobrachium are very suitable for intensive culture. The main species of Macrobrachium are Macrobrachium rosenbergi, Macrobrachium malcolmsoni, Macrobrachium brahmanicum sopri. These are all reported in rivers. Macrobrachium rude, Macrobrachium ide, idella, scapriculum. These are all present in brackish water as well as ponds. So this is the Macrobrachium rosenbergi. So the dorsal formula is in dorsal side you can see 11 to 14 teeth, on the ventral side 11 to 13, more or less equal, and at the end of the rostrum you can see it is upcurved. So this is one of the identification character of this animal. It is grow maximum size of nearly about 900 gram. So it is first reported in Malaysia, so it is called Malaysian prawn, and the Ling is an FO scientist. He worked on this animal in 1965. He developed he actually introduced this animal to aquaculture, and he actually reported this animal having the potential for aquaculture. He studied the larval development and also he has given some initial culture importance of this animal. Later on it is shifted to Thailand and almost hatchery technology and farming technology is established for this animal. And this is Macrobrachium malcolmsoni, second largest. The dorsal teeth is 5 to 7 and lower teeth is 5 to 6 or something like that. And you cannot see in rosenbergi the rostrum is upcurved and it is going beyond the antennal scale, but it is not there, right? It is particularly present in Sri Lanka India, Bangladesh and Pakistan. It is said to be second largest species, and hatchery technology is not yet established, and so the farmers are depends upon the natural resources for culture and so on. And this is the scapriculum, macrobaric scapriculum. Identification is very easy because one leg is very larger in size and another leg is very smaller size, and maximum size is 20 gram. So there is no culture activities, only local consumption. Right, 1 kg is cost about 100 rupees, and it is only local consumption. It is not exported and no farming activities. Even though the hatchery technology is established, but no farmers are taking care of this animal because it is very smaller in size. And Macrobrachium idae, right? So this is very smaller in size. The dorsal teeth is the dorsal teeth is 9 to 13 and lower 3 to 4, and it is a maximum size also around 25 gram. And this is we call it common name is slender river prawn, dorsal formula 11 to 14 and ventral 4 to 5. Again, it is a very small species, so that the farmers are not taking care of this animal. Only local consumption, it is not exported to foreign countries. How will you distinguish male and female in prawn? Usually in male, the second pair of periopods is quite long and has many spines, whereas in female, the second pair of pair is not as so long as the second pair is not so long and spineless. The gentle pore is situated at the base of the fifth periopod. The gentle pore are situated at the base of the third periopod. The appendix masculina is situated in the second abdominal appendages of the male. It is totally absent in the female. You can see, right, in male the appendix masculina is present. It is absent in the female. Giant freshwater prawn, Macrobrachium rosenbergi, commonly known as scampi. It is a commercial name, and almost the culture focused on, suppose in freshwater, mainly the farmers are focusing on scampi. It is widely distributed in Southeast Asia and found in most river systems in India. It is highly valued due to its high price, large size, rapid growth, good taste and high export demand. This prawns inhabit rivers, canals, estuaries and coastal waters in nature. It can also be cultured in freshwater as well as slightly brackish water. So this is the after fertilization. The fertilized eggs are deposited on the abdomen of the female. Right, you can see in the first picture, that is the eggs are yellow in color because initially the eggs are laden with egg yolk, and once the growth the embryonic development proceeds, now the yellow color turns into black color. So once you get the black color, it is about to hatch. Life cycle, usually the mating is taking place between a hot cell male and soft cell female, and you will get the buried female, that is all the fertilized eggs are deposited on the abdomen of the female. Now embryonic development is completed in the freshwater itself. At the time of hatching, now the buried female is moved to brackish water, where the eggs are hatched, and the zoea spend its time up to post larvae in brackish water. This is the life cycle of this animal, you can see, right? And adult is freshwater and larvae is in estuary. So these are the key characters for the identification of larval forms. First zoea, sessile eye, and second zoea, stalked eye. Third zoea, uropods present. Fourth, two dorsal teeth, and fifth zoea, telson narrow and elongated. Sixth zoea, pleopods buds present, and seventh zoea, pleopods biramous. Eighth zoea, pleopods with setae. Ninth zoea, endopods of pleopods with appendix interna. 10th zoea, 3 to 4 dorsal teeth on rostrum. 11th zoea, teeth on half of upper dorsal margin, and post larvae. uh, it shows adult behavior, and it is taking usually um, 20 to 35 days to complete its larval rearing duration. So these are the larval stages. You can see stage first, various larval stages, and this is a production of scampi in different states, starting from Gujarat to Orissa. You can see the Andhra Pradesh is leading in freshwater prawn culture, especially the scampi culture. The area is uh, 2000 hectare, and production is actually 3,45,041 metric ton, and production productivity is actually 1.23 metric ton per hectare. So Tamil Nadu is 192 hectare and 144 metric ton production, and 1.23 productivity, that is metric ton per hectare. So Orissa and Andhra and Orissa leading in scampi culture. So almost scampi culture in hatchery as well as farming technology is established. There are so many hatcheries in India, both east and west coast, nearly about 300 or more than 300 hatcheries, and feeding mills and farming activities. Many freshwater areas are under freshwater prawn culture. Site selection of pond for prawns. Proper selection is an important factor for successful freshwater prawn culture. Culture sites where water temperature remains above 20 degrees C for 6 to 8 months are suitable. The water pH should be above 7. The pond bottom soil should be clay loam or sandy loam. The pond should be preferably rectangular in shape with a size of 0.2 to 1 hectare. Provision of inlet and outlet and water control structures are recommended. Pond bottom should have suitable slope towards the outlet. Depth of water should be 1 to 1.5 meter. For pond preparation, pond is dried and pond bottom is exposed to sunlight for 1 week. If it is not possible to dry the pond, then mahu oil, cake or urea and bleaching powder are added for removal of predatory fishes. Lambing is done at 200 kg per hectare or as per requirement based on soil. Cow dung at 200 kg per acre or urea at 10 kg and SSP at 15 kg is added in the pond for plankton development at weekly intervals. Then water is properly filtered and filled in the pond up to level of 4 feet. As prawns grow by molting and are very soft and are easy prey to other prawns, earthen tiles, small trees, branches and tires are provided in the pond as hideout to save them from predators during molting. The pond is covered with nylon net or threads to save them from predatory birds. For monoculture practice, they are stocked at 3 to 4 juveniles per meter squared, and for polyculture, 1 to 1.5 prawn juveniles per meter squared, along with 3,000 to 500 hectare rohu and katla fingerlings. This is the pond preparation. You can see the pond preparation. Nursery phase of the prawns. During nursery phase, delicate post larvae procured from prawn hatcheries are raised to juveniles, that is around 2 to 5 gram in the small earthen ponds per tanks. The size of nursery ponds may range from 0.20 to 0.1 hectare. The recommended stocking density of seed range from 20 to 50 per meter square. Provision of floating weeds inside a PVC frame covered 10% of pond surface is recommended to provide shade and shelter to PL commercially. Available prawns or shrimp feeds is recommended for good growth and survival. It should be fed at 100% of the biomass per day for first 2 weeks and reduce to 20% of biomass towards the end. If the farmer does not have access to commercial feed, then powdered groundnut oil cake and rice bran can also be used. Nursery period may range from 45 to 60 days, during which the PL grow to zonal 2 to 5 gram size. This is the growth pond. Right, the cash net operation is there. Food and feeding of prawns. Prawns feed on small animals like worms, crustaceans, bottom detritus, and plant material available on the pond bottom. If there is a lack of feed, they feed on soft-shelled weak prawn that result in low production. It is recommended to feed prawns twice daily. With the commercial prawns, shrimp feed that is 10% of the biomass, which is gradually raised to 2% towards the end of the culture period. The feed is broadcasted to the pond from the dikes. Feed can also be given in check trays placed 2 to 3 m away from the dike for better feed management. Feed management should be done properly to ensure better growth and environment management. So this is the prepared food, that is pellet feed. Right, see the ingredients: fish meal, shrimp meal, soya bean meal and rice bran, coconut oil cake, tapioca, starch, then minerals, premix. Right, so this is the pellet feed for freshwater prawns. It is prepared in the pond site itself. So feeding, it is about feeding. Water quality management. Visibly and color of the pond is an important indicator of health of the pond ecosystem. In unproductive ponds, the visibility can be up to the bottom, which will lead to growth of bottom algae that adversely affect the growth and survival of prawns. Ideally, the visibility should be maintained in the range of 30 to 40 centimeter to avoid water quality deterioration. Provision of aeration, that is pedal wheel or any other such devices, is recommended, especially during the final 2 to 3 months when the biomass in the pond is high. When the oxygen level in the pond is critically low, the prawn come to the surface along the periphery, which indicates the need for taking immediate remedial actions such as water exchange or operation of aerators to avoid mortality of stock. This is the water quality parameters, both nursery and grower. Temperature is 28 to 31 and pH is 7 to 8.5. Dissolved oxygen 3 to 5. Salinity less than 10. Transparency 25 to 40 centimeter. Alkalinity 2 to 60 ppm. Total hardness 30 to 150 ppm. Ammonia less than 0.3. Nitrate less than 10 and boron 0.75. Copper 0.02 ppm, manganese less than 0.10 and zinc less than 0.20 ppm, hydrogen sulfide nil. These are the parameters, environmental parameters you have to maintain throughout the culture. Harvesting of the prawn. Large prawns may be harvested using a seine net of a suitable mesh size after 4 months of the culture, which should continue once every 3 to 4 weeks thereafter for the next 3 to 4 months. The prawns may be finally harvested after 8 months of culture by complete dewatering. These are the harvested prawns and it is ready to go processing unit. These are the economics of growth production of prawns, isn't it? See the expenditure, variable cost, right? Variable cost includes pond lease, prawn seed, transport, fertilizers and lime, supplementary feed, wages, electricity and fuel, harvesting, charges, miscellaneous, and subtotal is 1,41,000, and variable cost, interest on variable cost, and the grand total is 1,51 and 51,725, and gross income is sale of bigger size prawn, that is rupees 175 kg for 1000 kg, it is 1,75,000, and sale of smaller size prawns, that is 75 kg 75 per kg for 500 kg, right. That is 35,000. So grand total is 2 lakhs 10 lakhs. So and the final net profit is actually 58,275. So this is approximate. It will be varied according to the um, price of the your product and so on. So with that I finish this status of freshwater prawn culture in India. Thank you very much.